live at SEMA 2014. I'm here with David Gruskis with Reliable Automotive Equipment. We're in the SCRS booth, and we had a great OEM summit yesterday. We had a lot of attendees, had a lot of great information that went out. And one of the things that came out, Dave, because you and your company supply most of the shops with a lot of equipment to be able to do aluminum, to be able to do all these new certifications that we went over yesterday at the meeting. One of the things that was brought up was safety, and you were the one who brought that up. Didn't really hear that much about it. What in your mind, or what in your thoughts, or what have you seen in your experience that tells us that we're missing something on that, or we're not going down that right road?
Well, everyone was making a big deal that it was no big deal to do the new riveting of the aluminum, when in reality the rivets that everyone was talking about related to Ford are now the rivets we're dealing with on some of the European cars are putting 11,000 pounds of pressure on an 8mm tip. So now if it's a substandard tool, if it's a substandard die, or if it's substandard training, that tip becomes a bullet if it breaks off. And the education on the worker is extremely important. We also heard people mentioning about carbon fiber, that there are different methods of cutting it and sectioning it. When carbon fiber in a smoke form or in a dust form is a carcinogen. And we have to be very, very conscious that all the different blood diseases we hear about are due to environments of the worker. So how can we protect the worker? We're training these guys, investing tens of thousands in each one, and we owe it to them to know that we're taking care of them in a safety fashion. So equal education should be given to that.
It's a good point, and this is above and beyond the fumes from aluminum welding. So this is above and beyond all that. You're taking this to another level or another concept when it comes down to the actual safety of not using the equipment as intended, or not understanding it. Now, in your experience and what you've seen from a safety aspect, do you feel that it's information that these guys and gals who are performing the repairs? Is it a training issue? Is it an understanding of the equipment? What do you feel is the main driver behind the safety issue?
In a lot of cases, it's a training issue, because if they're trained properly, then they'll know if there's a specific piece of safety equipment required. On carbon fiber, the technology that's being introduced now, which we will see next year and the year after, it's done strictly with heat, and there's a tremendous amount of smoke involved that has to be absorbed in some way through some kind of an apparatus, and it's not something that you would simply use a welding fume extractor. So we have to stay very ahead of the curve to know, hey, a tool's coming out, we're going to do a specific repair. Are we actually doing it where it is safely being done in the environment?
The OEM Summit yesterday brought forth so much information to all of us, from the repair side, from the equipment and tooling and vendor side, and of course the OEs that were there brought out a tremendous amount of information. What out of all that going forward do you see the need being in the future? So again, we have safety, we have equipment and tooling, we have training, of course, as you said, or again, that misinformation. What do you see, if you can go in that crystal ball at Reliable, what do you see is coming down the road, coming to the future?
I think we have to be very, very conscious that the steel industry is not taking a back step to this aluminum. And we're going to be working with tremendously hard steels that are going to have tremendous amount of pressure. There's going to be a problem welding. They will be riveted, and there's a tremendous amount of pressure and tooling to punch the holes and punch the rivets. It's not like what we're looking at with these little self-piercing rivets with the aluminum. Also, the more complex something is, the harder it is. When you're welding it, or whatever operations you're doing, everything is exaggerated, so the safety has to be brought into the picture. So we should be thinking safety first. The OEs always put it back on the shops to be responsible for safety. They'll come up with a repair, but safety generally is not at the forefront of what they say.
Okay, well, Dave, listen, thanks for all of your help and time here at SEMA 2014. Want to thank SEMA, want to thank SCRS for all the hard work that they put into the OEM Summit. Dave, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.